Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new broadcast of Larissa Gabi Show. I have a wonderful queen here. She wears many hats. I'm so excited about having her on my show. I'm very honored. Welcome, Dr. Aliya.
Thank you. So I'll just go ahead and introduce myself to your viewers.
Yeah.
My name is Dr.Aliya Frederick. I am a pediatric neurologist, so I'm a clinical physician. I'm also a researcher, a neuroscientist, so I am interested in brain research, and I've been in this area for about 8 years now. So I do have a dual degree. I have a PhD, which is in neuroscience. Then I also have an MD, so I'm clinically active. And these are things that, they're when I first got into science and medicine, it's really just amazing how this happened. There's not anyone in my family who was in science or in medicine, and really all of this kind of came about by an opportunity that was presented to me when I was in high school. So a scholarship program that was really looking for minority individuals, so those who are not highly represented in science and healthcare, and looking for them to give them an opportunity via a scholarship program. So financial support, also with mentorship, resources, access to research through that program. And I was really fortunate to be able to apply for that program and got accepted to get into that program. It really kind of changed and set the trajectory of my life to kind of get me to where I am today. So I feel really fortunate about that. And that has really kind of influenced a lot of the things that I'm really passionate about today. So definitely as far as, mentoring, creating access and opportunities for young people in science and healthcare, these are things that are really important to me, really passionate to me. And, getting into pageantry, those things have been part of my platform. And that's been, one of the main reasons, just because of those opportunities that have been given to me by those before me. I really feel obligated and fortunate to be able to give back and help other people in the same way.
Awesome, awesome. And congratulations with your
Thank you.
nomination. What is the category again?
So I really am excited about the brain. So that's the best organ out there. If you ask me, I might be biased a little bit. So I take care of pediatric and adolescent patients with neurologic issues. So that can be, anywhere from neonatal, so babies that are born usually premature or have any type of injury during the birthing process or after that, that may have neurologic issues like seizures or that sort of thing. We take care of those kids. Also older kids, issues with development, kids with epilepsy, seizures is a big thing that we see in a lot of our patients. Headache, movement disorders, muscle disorders, kids with, muscular dystrophies and that sort of thing. We take care of them. Teenagers, any number of things too. Headache is very common in that particular age group. So we certainly take care of that. There is kind of this we distinguish between kind of neurology and psychiatry, but often they are intermixed. So certainly we do get our fair share of psychiatry kind of intermixed with our patients. And then we'd like to think that they're out the door when they're 18, but that's not true. Usually we keep them a little bit longer. Sometimes we do have some young adults that we take care of also. But usually at that point, we're ready to transition them to maybe an adult provider. So that's what I do clinically. I'm in the hospital. Sometimes I work on inpatient services. So primarily taking care of kids on an epilepsy monitoring unit. That's one of my specialties is neurophysiology, so reading EEGs and taking care of epilepsy patients. And then also I spend time in the clinic, so see people coming in for neurology consults. I also kind of do a bit of headache medicine, so I also do Botox injections actually for patients with chronic migraine. And I'm also, I mentioned earlier that
Wow.
I'm a neuroscientist, so I do research, and my research is primarily focused on headache research. So we've got a couple of clinical trials going, and we're just looking at new interventions. So how can we make treatments better, easier, more safe for pediatric patients? So that's primarily what I do on the research arm of things.
Awesome. So, what I want to ask you now, it's congratulations about your nomination in the categories of best science. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Best in Science. So this one, I won this award last year. And I was actually really shocked to win that award, but really excited about it again, just because of the fact that, when I was younger, I never really thought about seeing myself as a scientist. That was not something that was I thought of doing. And like I said, that scholarship program really gave me access and opportunity for research. That was the first time that I actually really thought about a career in research. So during my first year in college, over the summer, I was actually able to go to Lancaster, England. This was a minority international research training scholarship program. So they paid for me to go to England, work in a research lab there. And the lab was studying, I think, Parkinson's disease, something related to neuroscience. And I started working there and I said, wow, I've never thought about research before, never knew anything about neuroscience, but this is really great. And from then on, I was just like looking to see if something would outdo that experience, but nothing ever did. So I stayed interested in neuroscience. And then ultimately, when it was ready for me to go on for my PhD, I said, oh, it's going to be neuroscience because obviously, right? It's the most interesting thing. So I did my PhD in neuroscience, and we were looking at dopamine signaling, and I'm not going to get into to all of that, but just it's so nice to be able to kind of generate new knowledge,
Yes, it is.
put it out there for other people, especially when we think about how it relates. What are the clinical? That's what we always care about. Is what are the impact on people, though? So we do these things in the lab, but ultimately we're worrying about how does that translate to improvement in lives of people, is the important thing. So I just really loved that. So then being able to move forward now, becoming faculty at the university where I work and getting involved with research, then to be nominated for this Best in Science award. And then, there were amazing people in that category. And so when you are reading people's bios, you're like, there's absolutely no way.
You deserve it. You deserve it, to be honest with you. And I'm looking forward to the Global Beauty Award. And I can't believe I'm going to meet you in person and give you a strong hug. I'm looking forward to talk with you and chat with you. And yes, about the Global Beauty Award, it's amazing how little thing you do can change life. And what you're
Mhm.
saying, you're changing life every day, like with your job and everything. It's amazing to walk the way you're walking, to be a medical doctor. It's like you are a savior. You are a prayer answer person because you are the solution. So through you, many people come and get their a better health, better life,
Mhm.
save families. This is amazing. And I was at the Global Beauty last year and I didn't see you, but you told me that you
Well,
came.
we definitely have to connect this year. Definitely. I'm really excited for this year. So I'm nominated for Best in Education, which I'm really excited about because, as a physician, as a mentor, which is something that is so important to me, my work with young people, and just, being an advocate for them, being an educator to them, kind of helping them along their path, has really been important just because, like I said, when I was in college, there were so many people who really just poured into me, mentorship, opportunity, resources. And, without all of that support, I don't know how I would have made it along the path to be, here, to be nominated for a Best in Science, to be nominated for a Best in Education, right? There's a lot of
Wow.
people who are doing work behind the scenes, pouring in to make that possible. So, when I have the opportunity to do that for another young person, I'm all on board, especially if it's a young, Black or brown woman who
Mm-hmm.
can see herself, portion of herself reflected in me. I just love that opportunity to be able to help support her. So, education is a part of a lot of the things I do. Really excited for that nomination. Also nominated for Best in Healthcare, which is a new category this year. So
Wonderful.
that's
And
exciting.
it is exciting. And there were so many people last year. Oh my God. And the time went so fast. And
Yes.
all these beautiful faces, women in beauty. And
Yeah.
Yeah, you've joined the pageantry. How come you joined the pageantry?
Well, why not? I'm always up for something new. So pageantry was definitely something new to me when I got into it. This was about 5 years ago. So, you know, I'll tell you, I'm 40 years old. Okay. So I got into pageantry at 35.
Yeah.
And I had never participated in a pageant prior to that, but
Wow.
really, it came at someone else saying, "Hey, why don't you get into pageants?" And I'm like, I don't have a good reason not to, right? So I started looking into pageant systems and opportunities for women in their 30s and found this whole community of, Ms. and Mrs. pageantry,
Yeah.
and just did my first pageant and found that, oh my God, these women that are participating in pageants later in life are fantastic. These
They
women
are
are business women. These women are professionals. They're movers and shakers. They're doing a whole lot, and they're giving back to their community. So it's really
exactly.
not just about putting on that crown, putting on that sash. It's about hard work, really working on. There's also some component of personal development when you're kind of working through that whole process of preparing for a pageant, which is
Yeah.
great. Makes you really kind of reflect on yourself and think about your own personal development, but also thinking about, platform. How are you contributing to the community? How are you giving back? So those are the most important things, as far as pageantry for me. It's been just, I've been just really enjoyed my experience so far. So it's definitely something that I'll continue to be involved with.
Awesome. You know, when I joined pageantry, I was over 40.
See, there you go.
42 and I'm turning 45 now. And you know, everything you describe is the same way I was thinking. And I was
Mhm.
thinking the opposite, that the women there has nothing to do, but it's the opposite. And instead we get shining and shining. I've just
Yeah.
been looking at you. I say, imagine what a beautiful and sexy doctor. Who doesn't want to go to that clinic?
Well,
You
hopefully you're still getting good medical care there too.
know,
There's
you
that
know,
too.
this
But
revolution, the whole hospital, because usually we think doctor are people with this eyeglass, triple eyeglasses, very serious with like, you know, you are so beautiful. And when I saw your Facebook before you were nominated now again, I was just inspired. I think this
oh,
lady looks so intelligent and she has it all. And in fact, thank you for coming
oh,
on the
thank you.
show. And I'm looking forward to see you in
Yeah.
person in
Yes.
Global Beauty. I'm going to try to find you this time because
I'm definitely going to see you there.
last time was so many people. Time went so fast. And
Hmm.
at least this time we're going to get some good picture together and take a selfie and talk and share. And it's the sister with the family of pigeon. It's beautiful,
Hmm.
and I believe that we're gonna do greater things together. Thank you for coming on my show. But
Thank you so
tell
much
me,
for having me. This has
tell
been so
me,
much fun.
you have do you have a last thing to say to young people there? A word or something, a word of encouragement, please.
Yeah, I think, one final thing I would say is, like I said, when I got into pageants, I was 35, right? So there's not any, never feel like you've missed an opportunity to try something new. You can try something new at any time. Don't be afraid. If it's something you've never done before, go ahead and take that risk. I feel like in my life, I've taken a lot of different risks, a leap of faith. You just don't know how things are going to wind up for you. But don't be afraid, because sometimes when you take those risks, things really do kind of pan out for you, and things just seem to fall into place. So that would be the advice that I would give young people. Just, keep your eyes open, keep your mind open, take opportunities that are presented to you. Don't be afraid. Don't limit yourself. The world is your oyster. Go ahead and dream big, and, be inspired to follow your dreams, and don't let anyone stop you from doing that.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much for the advice for everyone, for the young adult, and even for the older, because I think some
That is
people.
advice for me too.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ali, and you're welcome back to my show, and see you soon then.
Thank you. I'll see you in Seattle.
Yes, sim, inicialmente.